Alright, happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy Independence Day. It's good to be here. It's good to be alive, good to be American. It's good to be free and healthy. And I wish everybody a prosperous and a wonderful year. So on this Independence Day of 2020, I figured maybe we'll do a sort of a cowboy theme, sort of Americana thing, because everybody loves a good cowboy hat out there. I know that. I always get the best ratings and analytics every time whenever I do a cowboy episode or a flat cap episode. Those are my two biggest things. People love their Western hats out there. So we're going to talk a little bit about Stetson hats today and cowboy hats. And I think what we're going to talk about is which cowboy hat is good for you. Which one should I choose? There's a really nice fellow out there who's been asking me to help him choose a Western from JJ Hats, Alexander. And he's kind of narrowing in on one, on the Rancher, and he's had his eye on it for a while. So I started thinking, what if I was just that, average guy, just sort of thinking about getting a Western hat, or I didn't really know too much about them. I don't have tons of experience wearing them or anything, or buying them. So I'm starting to check things out. Which are some good basic models for me? There's got to be some popular models out there, some classic models, ones for tall guys, for short guys, more Western, less Western, more expensive, less expensive, more outback, more higher crown, all kinds of things, bigger brims, all these basic things that they're out there. Like in the guitar world, you've got electrics and acoustics. You've got things in the middle, electric acoustics and semi-acoustics. You've got, in each genre, you've got classic models, the Telecaster, the Stratocaster, the whatever, the Les Paul. It's the same thing with hats. They're classic models. The Rancher, there's a model that Stetson does, different X quality ratings from 4X, 6X, 10X, all the way up 20X, 30X, 50X, different qualities, and the prices, they go all the way up into the thousands of dollars for the same shape, the same style Rancher, because that's their iconic, that's it, that's the classic, like the, when you think about the electric guitar, you look at all those old posters of Kiss or Jimmy Page, they all had something like this. That's the, the archetypical, whatever you call it, the iconic last word in electric guitars. Everybody knows that shape. Again, the same thing for hats, cowboy hats. So we're going to talk a little bit about some very big models, famous models that we get in every single year at JJ Hat Center, and you can check them out at the website www.jjhatcenter.com. Remember that guy who used to go? Remember that guy, right? Remember that guy, right? Yeah. Quotation mark. You know the guy I'm talking about, right? He was on Sesame Street and stuff. Yeah, that guy was great. Comedian. Victor Borga? Was it? Was it Victor Borga? Yeah, maybe. I think that's who it was. Brilliant dude. I think I saw him once at a comedy show once when I was a little kid. Anyway, let's get back to the old cowboy theme we're talking about. So I'm going to sing another song that I've never sang before. It's got lots and lots of words. It's kind of like a story, one of those storytelling songs, Let me see if I could see if I could sing it. Excuse me. Me and my uncle went riding down South Carolina, West Texas bound. We stopped over in Santa Fe. That day came in just about halfway, and we know it was the hardest part of the day. I took the horses up to the stall. Went to the barroom, ordered drinks for all. 3 days in the saddle, you know my body hurt. It being summer, I took off my shirt, and I tried to wash off some of that dusty dirt. West Texas Cowboys, West Texas Cowboys, West Texas Cowboys, they're all around. Weekly grand money, they're loaded down. Seen that payday, no one seen the shame. You and my uncle, he starts playing the game. Hey, follow Jack and winner takes the hand. My uncle starts winning, Cowboys got sore. One of them called him, and then two more. Accused him cheating, oh no it couldn't be. I know my uncle, he's as honest as me, and I'm as honest as Denver man can be. One of them Cowboys, he starts to draw, and I shot him down low. He never saw. Shot me another, let me hit the floor. In confusion, my uncle grabbed the gold, and he hightailed it down to Mexico. Well, I love those Cowboys, I love their goals. I love my uncle, God rest his soul. He taught me a good Lord, taught me all I know. He taught me so well that I grabbed that gold. I left his dead ass there by the side of the road. I left his dead ass there by the side of the road. Gotta get that ending right. Alright. Let's talk about Western hats at JJ Hat Center. Now, we're not a Western hat shop in Texas, you know. If you go down to these huge Western shops, I'm sure in Texas and Montana and places where there's horses and stables and farmers and ranchers and people doing rodeo stuff and barrel racing and all that stuff, there's a lot of call for Western hats. There's people selling them like crazy. We sell them at JJ's, but we don't sell them as much as we sell the dress hats and the caps and the more basic stuff. Western is kind of it's a smaller section that's growing. I'm going to say it's like maybe 20% of the business, you know. It's growing though. It's getting bigger and bigger. And it's crossing over into Outbacks and Australian stuff like Akubra hats and things like the Stetson Dune and all those sort of more, how do you call it? More rugged outdoorsy things that aren't high crowned and rolled up on the sides. They're more like flat Westerns that sort of have a downturned brim. An Outback style Western is sort of like the brim goes down, okay, instead of traditional Western where it's kind of curled up on the sides. So if you want something a little bit more mellow, they do have these things that are sort of down with like a little bit curl on the side. It's got an Outbacky or kind of an Indiana Jones-ish sort of a look. And then they put Western bands on them and they start looking more Western. So, you know, hats like the Dune, the Stetson Dune is a hat for, let's say, here goes my pick. Let's say you're a guy who's looking for his first Western and you don't want it to be too much Western. You don't want it to be completely out there like Roy Rogers, Buckaroo, you know, little bandana and everything. You want to be walking around town with a Western look that's not very high, and that's not all curled up and rolled up on the sides, but something that's kind of rugged, lower in the crown, a little bit mellow. It's got a cool, you know, laid-back bands that'll give you the Western look more toned down for somebody who's, let's say, in the suburbs or the city, who just doesn't want to look out of place, almost costume-like. Now there is a lot of people who are just like, you know, hey, here's, you know, my middle finger, man. I'm a cowboy, love it or leave it, you know. They don't care where they are, the city, the country. This is me, you know, and that's whatever. That's the beauty of, you know, America, you know. We can dress any way we want. We can wear a pink tutu on the subway and a chicken bucket on our head, you know. That's our right, you know. And it's a beautiful thing. So wear what you want and raise your freak flag high, man. If you're a Western guy, a cowboy, or a musician, a rock star, whatever you want to be, dress up that way and just be it, you know. Become that person. It's okay. And there are a lot of people who just don't want the dressed up look. They want to look like, well, you know, this is Indiana Jones or something. They want 2 or 3 steps past this, more Western, bigger brim, stiffer felt Western band, but they don't want full out Western, you know, like a big, kind of a big Western. The Dune is perfect. It's in what they call the Gun Club collection. If you ever see Gun Club is a whole collection of sort of outbacky, rugged type things. There was a hat called the Cetera, which is, I think, now defunct. It's a whole bunch of things. I think they're Gambler. They're that might be in the Gun Club. I'm not sure. Maybe the Royal Flush. But there's a bunch of different ones, and they're all essentially like that. They're more laid back. The Dune is going to be the sort of keystone hat from that collection, though. It comes in black, it comes in a color called Acorn, which is like a sort of a light brown, and it comes in Silver Belly. Silver Belly is like an off-white color. It's a classic. You know, basically, Westerns used to come black and white, good guys and bad guys. Silver Belly is the white, but it's not a pure white like a slice of paper. It's more like a ceiling white or something. It's kind of a grayish white or yellowish white or something, you know. So when you hold like actual white next to it, you can see it's not white, you know. See what I'm saying? The ceiling appears, the walls appear white, but they're not, you see? That's white. So it's kind of like that. Silver Belly is like a white hat in the sun, but when you really look at it carefully, it's not. It's a silvery, sort of a natural color. Great hat, the Dune. I'm going to say it's really rugged, really reliable. It's a great hat for somebody who's looking for a shorter crown, kind of a low, sleek, rugged hat. The next really iconic one is the Rancher. The Rancher is, it's basically the most common, most iconic style out there. We're thinking the Marlboro Man, Roy Rogers, that look, James Dean's cowboy hat. Also, what's another, you know, classic? The Rancher is all those hats when you see them, 20X, 30X, 50X, 100X, El Presidente, El Patron, all those expensive hats that cost hundreds and thousands of dollars and stuff. Those hats all are the Rancher shape. That's basically the Rancher. This quality, that quality, that. They just go up, up, up. The difference is the felt and the trimming. The band is a little different sometimes. And sometimes they give it a little twist. The crown will be a little lower or something. Or the brim will be just curved a little slightly different, a little square instead of a little round. They do these things to make the better hats look a little bit more desirable. You know, a lot of people, if they complain the crown's too high in a Rancher, they'll lower it on the 10X version, which is more expensive, because a lot of people will really dig that feature. So it's kind of like that. They make improvements and stuff. Eventually those improvements make their way into all the hats anyway, but it's just like, just the way that sort of things are. So I'm going to say the Rancher shape is good for somebody who's not sure of, you know, there's 1,000 different Westerns. There's so many different shapes and brands. It's a good way to start. You could always modify it and do all sorts of things with it if you're not into it. You can curl it more, the brim. You could curl it less. You can put a different band on it. Horsehair bands are really good. The horsehair stuff is lightweight, and you could buy horsehair bands all over the place. We usually carry all different horsehair bands, but we can be out of it now. It's hard to say with the COVID thing. I actually have not been into work for many months, a few months, so I'm not sure exactly what we're out of, and you know, things like little items like that. The Rancher is a great hat as far as durability. If you have one in the closet, it's a good hat to wear for the rain, wear it for the snow. If you have 3 or 4 Stetsons, anything in a thick Western felt is great. Now, I'm going to talk about another hat that's kind of a Western, it's kind of a not Western. It's a gambler. It's called the Royal Flush. A gambler has a flat crown, totally flat. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what it is by now. Yeah, so it's flat on top like a pork pie with a big, like a wide brim that curls a little at the ends. It's kind of like a, I don't know who it looks like, a Clint Eastwood kind of a thing. It's sort of a little bit of a flat Western. Curls like a hamburger or derby at the end. It's a hard, low, flat. The Wild Wild West. Remember that movie with Will Smith? And then the original one, you know, years ago. That was a gambler. A few of the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. It has a little bit of a, there used to be another hat called the Revenger that had that look too. It has a, like a partly sombrero kind of a look. You know, it's flat, like a Mexican look, and it's flat in the brim. That's a great hat. It's called the Royal Flush. A gambler is a great hat because it's low. It's low, low, low on the crown. It's going to be low like the Dune, but it's going to be a little bit more fashionable, a little bit more bold, fashion forward. You know, it's got that cool kind of flat look. So you can wear it with a cool overcoat, with a, you know, a leather jacket. You could be like cool and edgy, or you could also be very professional and with just a touch of Western. It has a black leather band with little silver ovals, oval conchos. I'm going to say, think of Stevie Ray Vaughan's hat, the flat one, but not so big, just like a medium brim. That's the gambler. Another gambler, a Mississippi gambler, not a Western gambler, Gone with the Wind, Frankly Scarlet. I don't give a damn. It's like a flat top, right? Kind of like a little longer brim. Gambler. All right. Excellent hat, the Stetson Royal Flush. It comes in black, it comes in silver belly. There's other colors too that we don't stock. There's a third color, I forgot what it was, so we just don't stock it, so I forgot what it is. It's like brown or something maybe. Excellent hat. I love the black. I also love the light one. Think of another really good Western hat that everybody seems to really dig. Oh yeah, the Open Road. Now the Open Road is another hat. It's, think of a rancher shrunken down. So instead of a big Western, you know, like really out there, it's shrunken down. It's small. The size of the actual hat is the size of like a, you know, like a Stetson, like this, sort of a dress hat shape. Because what they're doing is they're taking a crown of a Western and they're adding a fedora brim. So it's a brim just like this, same brim, same size, it snaps. Not that many people snap their Open Roads down, but you can. You could snap it in the front and the back if you want. People just don't think to do it. But the Open Road has a rancher crease, what they call a cattleman crease, or sort of a standard Western, like 3-finger crease, and this type of a brim, a snap brim. So it's like this, almost like a state trooper looking hat. It's very small. Look at the picture of Oswald getting carted away after shooting Kennedy. All those guys in Dallas, those cops all had white Open Roads on, and it looks just like that, like a white state trooper's hat. There are troopers that actually wear them. So think of this hat as a white Western. That's the shape. Another great hat. It's versatile. It's great for young people. It's good for people of all ages. Traditionally, it's kind of like a dress Western, something like, you know, the old men used to wear, like, instead of a cowboy hat, you wear it on Sunday, or you wear it going to church or something, you know. But nowadays, it's more of like a young person's hat. It's just a small, rugged little hat with a Western top. So it's a shrunken down Western that doesn't have the curling up sides like that. It's got a fedora brim, and it's much shorter. So your big Western's way out here and up there. Now we're talking more compact. It's not going to overpower you. It's going to be good for the city. It's going to be good for a little skinny guy like me, a shorter guy. And you can handle it. A lot of people can handle it. If you're not sure if you can handle that rancher, you just think it's really cool, and you're really not sure if it's going to be too much for you, it's probably too much for you. And go with the open road. You'll be really happy with it because it's the same top. It's a classic Western, just so iconic. It's got a 3-finger crease, and it's versatile. You know, you could do a bunch of things with it. I've seen people teardrop it. There are people who just totally change the top and, you know, put a teardrop in it. I've seen that. Open roads are pretty funky, and they're really good hats. The vintage ones are incredible. You've got ones 100 years old. They used to be softer. In the years, they've gotten harder. They're a little stiffer now, as most Western hats are. They're stiff. It's probably a good thing because the felt's not the same quality as it was in the 30s and 40s. And when a hat's not super duper, you know, amazing beaver quality, it's good for it to be thick or to be heavily stiffened, so it keeps its shape when it gets wet. It's that stiffener that's holding your shape together. Otherwise, gravity just makes it flop, it falls. So the stiffener is a good thing. Don't worry about it. Don't try to soften them up. If it's not fitting you correctly and you're hitting the top, it's too hard, you just reshape it where you need to. You can deepen it. I have 2 or 3 videos showing you how to deepen a crown and get more headroom. That's an issue with open roads, but it's really simple to fix, especially if you go to a hat shop. We could fix it in 30 seconds. We hit the top with steam, push it up a little. But you can do it yourself. I guarantee I've talked to at least 3 or 4 people through it, and probably more like 5 to 10 people, I'm sure. So it's a very easy modification. If you need a little bit more depth in your Western hat, people who are tall hit the roofs of them. And because the Westerns are not soft, the roof doesn't move and flex with your head. It just kind of, you hit, you know. So what you want to do is deepen it by sort of making, like, you know, this little indentation with steam on the top. But let's not get into that now. Let's talk about the open road. There's a straw version that just came in now, a regular shantung kind of white Western straw, and then there's these fancy straws now that come in like amber and all these cool colors, like, you know, natural and amber and brown and cognac, and they're really cool. They have vented sides with like these holes kind of like woven in the sides, sort of basket weave things. It's a nice open road. I forgot what they're called, the open road whatever, you know, shantung or something, Toyo. They're very nice. If you go to new arrivals, jjhatcenter.com, just go right to new arrivals. It's like maybe the newest hat that just came in. So anybody who's waiting for open roads, the summer version just came in. We just got a bunch of them. So Stetson has been shipping. Stetson and Dobbs just turned the shipping on again about a week and a half ago. I'm going to say a week and a half ago. So we've gotten a lot of new straws in. Good amount of new straws, all from Stetson and from Dobbs. If you don't know, Dobbs and Stetson both come from the same company, same factory. So here's the factory: Stetson line, Dobbs line, Resist All line. They're all basically just different lines from the same brand. So yeah, if you like Stetson dress hats, try a Dobbs out. It's exactly the same people making it, same factory. It's just like, you know, they design a new line. Okay, what are we going to do for our Dobbs line? Gary, you're in charge of the Dobbs line. What do you got for me? And Pete, you're doing Stetson line this year, Stetson dress. What do you got? So it's the same factory. They just have, you know, like the Dobbs is more colorful and interesting. It's like, you know, they're selling it to Chicago and, you know, places where they wear funkier stuff. And Stetson tends to be a little bit more of a standard, a little bit more vintage flavored brand and stuff when it comes to dress hats. Dobbs, I think, is a little bit more colorful, a little bit more soulful kind of stuff. It's more, I don't know, more interesting to me. But yeah, they're just kind of like two lines, you know. It's like, I don't know, the Gap versus Banana Republic, you know, it's the same crap with 2 different labels on it, basically. So I'm gonna say Dobbs is definitely not a Western company. They've got Resist All, they've got Stetson, and Charlie One Horse. Those are 3 great companies that make Westerns from Hatco, and they do a good job. I think They bought those 3 brands out because they probably were near bankruptcy years and years ago. So when the big company hat brands bought all them out, they started putting good money behind them, and right now they're doing very, very well, Stetson, and they're on top of their game. And the shipping is starting to come through, which is great. So those are a few Stetson Westerns. I'm trying to keep the time down. I'm running into about 25 minutes now, so we're going to try to keep these videos to like 20-30 minutes. We'll keep it short. Just wanted to wish you guys a very happy and safe holiday, from my family to your family. Love, peace, prosperity, good luck, happiness, health, joy, and peace of mind to all of you guys. Adventure, prosperity, and I said that twice, prosperity. That's a good one. Prosper, live long too. Should I tune? New strings. Don't boss him, just wild sorrow. Maybe he'll ride on again.